This is the most terrifying story that I have ever come across. It gives me shivers just thinking about it. This is the story of the girl who lived in the walls. And this is one story that they definitely should not have tried to erase. It all started when a family moved into an old house. The house was beautiful, but it was also very, very old. As you can imagine, an old house like that is going to make some strange noises. But these noises were far from normal. One day, the parents heard what sounded like footsteps in the attic. Then one day they found that some of their belongings had been moved. For example, one day they found that a lamp had been moved from the living room to the bedroom. Another time they found that food had gone missing from the kitchen. But the scariest part was that there was no sign of a break-in. All the windows and doors were locked, and the house was very, very old. There was no way that an intruder could have gotten in or out without them knowing about it. At this point, the parents were starting to get very scared. They even checked under the bed to see if there was a secret passageway, but there wasn't anything. The parents decided that the best thing to do was to install CCTV cameras. They put the cameras up and then went to bed. When they checked the footage the next morning, they were shocked. On the CCTV footage, they saw a little girl crawling out of the wall. She was only wearing a nightgown, and her hair was very long and dirty. She seemed to be coming out of the wall just to get a bit of food. After she ate, she would crawl back into the wall. The girl seemed to be very shy. In the daytime, she would stay hidden in the wall. But at night, when everyone was asleep, she would come out and get some food. She would also make small talk with the family, but they never saw her. To be honest, this story could have ended right here. Just the idea of someone living in your walls is terrifying enough. But this story gets a lot darker. After seeing the CCTV footage, the family called the police. When the police arrived, they searched the entire house to see if there was a hole in the wall that the girl could have been coming through, but they couldn't find anything. That's when the police spoke to the family about the missing items. They had assumed that it was the girl in the wall taking the food, but it turned out that she had nothing to do with it. The girl had actually been taking food from the wall safe, which had been installed by the previous owner. The safe was designed to hold food and water so that people could survive in it. But that didn't explain how the girl was getting in and out of the wall. That's when the police decided to do something crazy. They actually cut open the wall to take a look. What they found was a series of tunnels. These tunnels led to a secret room where the girl had been living. The room had a bed, a desk, and a chair made out of wood. There were also some clothes and personal items in the room. The police also found out that the girl had been in that room for over 3 years. She had been hiding in the walls since 2014. But why? Well, it turns out that the girl had a very good reason for hiding in the walls. You see, before the current owner bought the house, it had been used as a brothel. And the girl's parents were actually the ones who had been running it. They had been abusing the girl for years. So she had built those tunnels herself so that she could escape. She had been surviving on just water and the occasional piece of food that she could find. Somehow she managed to get food from the wall safe. Sadly, this story doesn't end there. When the police finally found the girl, they asked her if she wanted to come out of the wall, but she said no. She was too scared to leave. The police had to practically carry her out of the house. Once she was out of the house, the police and the family tried to convince her to come out of the wall, but she wouldn't. She was too scared. It took several hours, but eventually the girl came out. What is the most terrifying part of this story is that the girl wasn't the only one hiding in the walls. When the police searched the house, they also found a little boy in one of the walls. He had been hiding in there with his sister. The police don't know how long the children had been in the house, but they do know that their parents had been arrested. The children are now in protective custody and are doing well. So that's the story of the girl who lived in the walls. It's a truly terrifying story, and it's amazing that the girl managed to survive. If you think the story is scary, just wait until you hear this one. Click on this video to hear the most evil laugh ever caught on camera.